Hello again, Andrew. And hello again, everybody. I'm Susie Mullins with the West Virginia Collegiate Recovery Network. And with me today is Andrew Carl from WVU's Collegiate Recovery Program. And he has been gracious enough to be interviewed for the third time about Refuge Recovery. So hopefully this time the recording will work. So Andrew, thank you again. I appreciate your time. So could you tell folks a little bit about, first of all, who you are and WVU's program, and then about Refuge Recovery?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. So I'm Andrew Carl. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I am a native West Virginian. I'm an alum of West Virginia University. I'm also an alum of the WVU Collegiate Recovery Program, of which I'm now the program coordinator. I was a graduate assistant and undergrad volunteer, and it's been an honor to be a part of building this recovery community on the Morgantown campus.
So how did it come to be that you first got introduced to Refuge Recovery?
So I was somewhat familiar. I'm a reader, and I read anything related to recovery, and I was somewhat familiar with Refuge Recovery, and one of our students at Collegiate Recovery happened to bring it up. He showed an interest in it, asked if we could do a book study. So we started doing a book study, sort of an informal group at the Collegiate Recovery Program here. And then from there, he wanted to start an actual Refuge Recovery meeting, which we were able to support him in that process. We were able to host the first Refuge Recovery meeting in Morgantown. People loved it. It's a somewhat change of pace from maybe more traditional recovery meetings. It's a nice complement. It's been well attended, and we're still holding Refuge Recovery on a weekly basis at Serenity Place.
And are those meetings currently, Andrew, are they in person or online?
Currently, they're both.
Okay.
That could very well change from whenever this is seen, but currently we are holding Refuge Recovery Fridays at 1 p.m., which you can come in person at our actual physical center, Serenity Place, which is on the downtown campus. We do require masks, and we have capacity limits. So if you're more comfortable joining us on Zoom on the virtual Serenity Place, you're welcome to do that as well. And regardless, if we're not able to do in person anymore, we will continue to have it Friday at 1 p.m. on our Zoom platform.
Great. So can you tell folks what Refuge Recovery is and kind of what the concept is with that approach to recovery support?
Yeah, so Refuge Recovery came about from some people that were in long-term recovery through a 12-step fellowship, but they were also sort of familiar with and practiced mindfulness and meditation and Buddhism, and they just had this idea that the two really complemented each other well, and they sort of developed this recovery group based partly on the 12-step principles and experience and the sort of very old teachings of Buddhism. There's the 4 Truths of Refuge Recovery. There's the Eightfold Path, which have been adopted for recovery lifestyle straight from the traditional Buddhist teachings. They started having meetings, the fellowship grew. They have a Refuge Recovery basic text that is sort of set up in what most people in recovery would be familiar with sort of the introductory teachings and the basics, followed by some stories from the members. So there's a lot of overlap, but there's some key differences. It's really takes a Buddhist perspective to what recovery is and what addiction is. It doesn't just focus on substance use. It's really any repetitive compulsive behavior that you would like to address through the practice of mindfulness, meditation, through a supportive community, and through the Buddhist-based teachings.
So it sounds like it's really grown, and I think you were responsible for introducing the Jacob's Ladder program to Refuge Recovery, and the guys enjoyed coming down to Morgantown to meetings, and then started having some meetings on site. So that's pretty cool to see how that's grown. What do you know what the presence of Refuge Recovery is statewide in West Virginia? Are there many meetings that people can access?
So it is somewhat limited in West Virginia, which is sort of the typical, like, it sort of takes longer for recovery communities to take hold here. I believe there are at least 2 meetings here in Morgantown and one in Wheeling, which I believe is Sunday evening. It used to be at the Unity Center. I'm not sure what the online in-person status of that is. I've heard of other meetings trying to get started. I'm not really sure what kind of traction they're able to get. I know that Pittsburgh has a fairly long-standing sort of ingrained community of refuge recovery and Buddhist recovery, which isn't too far away, but West Virginia definitely is able to grow with refuge recovery, because it really is, it's a nice complement to whatever your recovery pathway is, because mindfulness and meditation will help you regardless of what pathway you're choosing to go on your recovery.
And some people might ask, do you have to be Buddhist to attend?
No, you definitely don't. You know, that's definitely one thing you see in a refuge recovery meeting is it's sort of not what people expect. It's really laid back. It's just a group of people in recovery that come together to support each other. There's some meditation, there's some reading, there's some sharing. You don't have to identify as a Buddhist. You don't have to adhere to any Buddhist practices. It's really just an open, supportive community that utilizes a lot of the experience and wisdom from a very old tradition.
So it sounds like there is some access to meetings, and where can people find more information if they're interested in either attending the meeting that you host via Zoom or the national group?
Yeah, so the national site is refugerecovery.org. They have all the different resources, from the readings to the meeting formats if you wanted to start your own meeting, to the online meeting list. If you would like to check out Refuge Recovery with Collegiate Recovery here, it's recovery.wvu.edu. We have all of our programming, all of our information, from Refuge Recovery to our other recovery fellowships. You're always welcome to drop in the virtual Serenity place. We also list the actual open in-person hours, which as of now, Fridays at 1, Refuge Recovery. You are welcome to come to an actual Refuge Recovery meeting and sit in meditation and share with us.
Great. Well, Andrew, thank you so much again for making yourself available and for everything you do there at WVU Collegiate Recovery.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Susie.